Rapper TK's girlfriend testimony today in court pretty much confirms with me that he's going to die in prison. Now, the thing with TK is he already got convicted on one murder. He got sentenced to 55 years in jail. He's currently fighting another murder.
Doug, the jury deliberated for a little longer than 3 hours today here before deciding on that 55-year sentence. That song that raised the profile of Tamor TK McIntyre in the end also likely played a role in that prison sentence. Tamor McIntyre ever so slightly rolled his head to the side as a judge announced his 55-year prison sentence for the murder of Ethan Walker. The decision came 2 years after TK rapped in his song The Race that there was a case he couldn't beat.
I think it was part of a career move that went wrong.
The song was certified platinum for the 19-year-old, but prosecutors argued it was also an example of the teen's character. They urged the jury to consider it when deciding on a sentence for the 2016 home invasion and robbery where Walker was killed. And afterward, Walker's parents said every lyric had their son's blood on it.
Even though TK had already been sentenced to 55 years in jail for one murder, there was still a chance that he could get out because the sentencing a lot of people was calling unethical. Because TK got more time in prison than a person who actually pulled the trigger and shot and killed this man in the home evasion. People like Charleston White, who is hard on criminals, he would take to social media to say that TK needs to be free, that his sentencing was unethical, and he would say that he supports TK.
I talked to his sister. Y'all want to help him, homie. You can see a big change in him. He was unfairly sentenced to 55 years. The plea they offered him first time was still unjust. The first charge, homie, he got more than a shooter. He wasn't even a shooter. He ran out the room. But because he made that song.
Don't ask me why people in hip-hop is supporting TK. It's hip-hop, bro. Taking somebody's life unjustly, you are a hero before you become a villain in hip-hop for doing such a thing. Now, there was still hope because TK was 15 or 16 years old at the time. He was not the shooter. And there was still hope out there that, the prosecutors instructing the jury to take art that he created in terms of the song while he was on the run, to take that into consideration when sentencing him. People just felt like that was a tad bit too harsh. And at maximum, he should have gotten the same time the shooter got in this case. Or at least, the same time as other people who have similar roles at him in the particular home evasion. So while people were trying to figure that out, while people were still having hope out, his other murder trial started. Now, TK was given a plea deal before this murder trial started, but he rejected a plea deal.
Right. Today is the plea deadline date. So is the plea being accepted?
Rejected, Your Honor.
All right. So we'll need a jury trial date. I'm going to recall this. We're going to recall this for March 11th. And at that time, you will be given your jury trial date.
Okay. That'll work, Your Honor.
All right. So if you all can make sure you confer off docket to see what's a good date that works for everybody's schedule. I don't do special settings in this court, but I will take in consideration the fact that it's a date that you all have decided on.
100%. That's the worst mistake he ever made in his life. Well, other than participating in homicides. Because trial has started and TK is absolutely cooked. I'm talking about, bruh. At this point, I don't even think they need to continue trial anymore, bruh. He is cooked. So, the opening statement started and they ran us through what the accusations. And we really got to see how cold-blooded the nature of what we are experiencing is. This isn't your average murder. This isn't the average heat of the moment, at the club, pop somebody, run away. No, this is TK scheming, conniving, being just super diabolical and taking a life that didn't have to be taken. So they will start off by saying that TK actually contacted the victim to come and help shoot some things for him. The victim was a photographer.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to take you back to April 23rd, 2017. When Lucy Salvador woke up that morning, she did not realize it was going to be the last day she talked to her son, Mark Salvador, or saw him alive. She spoke to him that day in the afternoon at the house, and Mark was excited. He had a rapper that contacted him about doing a photo shoot. Tamor McIntyre, or TK47, or TK, here in San Antonio, Texas. He was excited. His passion was photography. His passion was taking photographs and wanted to make that his career. He was young. He was just 20 years old. Tamor McIntyre was almost 17 years old. He was an up-and-coming rapper that contacted Mark about this photo shoot. And when Tamor came over to pick up Mark from his house, at his mother's house, Mark went outside with his backpack and his camera, very definable white type camera, ran off to this car down the street, a black Kia. Little did he know he was getting into that car and then we'd be falling off that car later on, shot by this individual that's sitting right over there.
Their plans the entire time was to rob this kid. Now, it was unclear if it was specific to him, if they really wanted to rob him specifically, or if they just went online to find any cameraman ready to work so they could rob him. But that's what they did. And when he hopped in the car, he's hopping in super excited. He want to work. He want to really expand his portfolio. Whole time he's hopping in a car filled with vultures, filled with spawns of Satans. And when he hopped in the car, almost immediately they began to try to rob him. Now, this is a kid who came from poverty. This is a kid who don't got much to his name. This camera is the only thing he got to eat. So he's protecting this camera with his life.
When he got to that car, he got in the back passenger seat. It's a four-door Kia. Tamor McIntyre was in the front passenger seat. Joanna Reyes was driving the vehicle. A good buddy of TK's was in the back seat and scooted over to the middle, Jalen Bell. And then also there was a Jeremiah Rodriguez in the back seat. When they drove away, they proceeded over to 410 and McCullough, across the street from North Star Mall here in San Antonio, Texas. When they were at the intersection, an altercation began at that point. This man right over here pulled out a gun and turned around and started hitting with fist and also with the gun, telling him, "Give me your stuff, give me your stuff, give me that backpack." They're wrestling for the backpack. At that point, Jalen Bell also wants to get involved in this. He's a bigger guy, a lot bigger than TK. He's in that back seat with Mark. They start beating him and trying to take away his backpack.
TK is the scum of the earth, bro. TK is the scum of the earth, man. He's disgusting. This man is a demon in human form, yo. Really think about it for a second, yo. This interaction that we just witnessed is at the root of every problem in the hood that you could think of. Every problem, a crime issue, an education issue, every single issue that you think affects the hood can be breaking down to an interaction like this one, where a kid who with a promising future crosses paths with a kid with not a promising future. A kid who is destined to make a change in his environment and a kid who is destined to bring destruction to his environment. And usually when they cross paths, the kid who is supposed to change the hood up, the kid who is destined to change his family life and bring generational wealth to his environment, that kid usually ends up passing away, or that kid usually ends up getting the short end of the stick. And what happens is, more times than not, when they cross paths, the kids who was destined to bring destruction to the hood, they usually win when they cross paths. And that's why the hood right now has all the issues you could think of, because demons like TK continues to take out the kids with a promising future.
His passion is in that backpack. His photography, his career. TK gets that backpack away from him. Jalen Bell is still hitting and kicking and pushing Mark. They're at a stop light. There are people parked around them at that stoplight, witnessing what's going on. Because this happened at 5 o'clock on a Sunday, in broad daylight. At some point, Mark gets kicked out of the car. They slam that back door. They won't let him back in the car. Help! 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 He's yelling. What he loved is in that car, his camera. Give me my things! Give me my things! He knows the light's about to turn green.
A lot of people would judge this kid for not just walking away with his life, but this kid came from abstract poverty. This kid was really poor. His parents even told a story of how much he saved up to get that camera equipment. So that was his life. That kid was thinking about, yo, bro, if this goes away, I have nothing else left to my name. I have nothing else to live for. This is my passion. So you're about to hear how much this kid fought. He fought to the very end, including hopping on the car, bro. While the car is speeding, hopping on the car to just not letting go. That's how much that backpack meant to this kid, bro. And a demon like TK probably wanted to sell it for a pack of Zaza and some size 28 Amiris, bro. Demons like this, more times than not, kill the dreams of the bright spots in these environments. But people like TK is who y'all root for. Is who y'all would say free him. People like TK is who y'all are out here doing campaigns for to come home. This dude is a devil.
He's frantic. He runs to the front. He jumps on the hood. One of the biggest mistakes of his life, or rather, the last part of his life. Joanne Reyes is driving that vehicle. The light turns green. They drive through that stoplight. It's a Sunday afternoon. Right across the street or highway from the North Star Mall, there's a Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays. They pull into that Chick-fil-A parking lot. She slams on the brakes. Mark sort of stands up. Looks like he's stomping on the windshield. But then that car jerks and he falls. You'll see that passenger door open up, the front passenger door open up, where this man over here was sitting with that gun. He leans out. He shoots Mark through the shoulder. It goes across his body, exits out of a little bit out of his lower back. He falls to the ground. The car reverses and takes off from the scene. You'll see several people run up and try to help Mark. But that bullet crossed his body. It hit his spine, hit both lungs. If he would have been on the best medical gurney in the world, he wouldn't have survived that shot.
So they ditched the vehicle and got out of town. When the police located the vehicle, they found identifying information to identify that these nincompoops was in the vehicle. They had identifying information on TK and like 3 other people. Now, one of the people that they discovered, or they identified to be in the vehicle is TK's girlfriend at the time. Now, that girlfriend is apparently testifying against TK, and she took this stand to essentially throw TK under the bus and let us know that TK is 100% guilty.
Who was sitting in the front passenger seat of the vehicle at that time?
Tamor.
What did you observe Tamor McIntyre do from the front passenger seat?
He shot up.
How did Tamor, did he exit the vehicle or did he roll the window down? How did he shoot?
Yeah, he opened the door and leaned out on one leg.
Okay. Now, do you see the person that shot Mark Anthony Saldivar in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Would you please point to him and identify him by the article of clothing he's wearing?
He's wearing a white shirt.
Thank you. Let the record reflect that this witness has identified the defendant, Tamor McIntyre. Now, I need to back up a little bit, and I apologize. When you all were at, where did Mark's backpack end up?
And Jalen had it.
Well, I'm gonna back up a little bit back to the stoplight on McCullough, okay? Did Tamor ever gain Mark's backpack at any point?
Yes.
Okay, and when was that?
And when they were fighting him,
Okay. And
TK was 16 at the time. He just caught his first body. Was he shooken up after catching his first body? No. Was he distraught? No. Was he frozen? No. Was he unhappy? No. As a matter of fact, it was the opposite. We will find out that this demon, after taking the life of somebody who did nothing to him, the only thing this dude did to TK, bruh, was he had his camera and didn't want to let it go. So when TK and them got to the Mexican restaurant afterwards, TK was not only like indifferent, no, he was actually happy, exhilarated. They was actually celebrating the fact that TK just caught his first body and they was high-fiving.
when you get to the Mexican restaurant, what happens?
I parked the vehicle, and then they started getting out of the vehicle, and then I got out of the vehicle, and they were going through the backpack, and then also going through his wallet, throwing things out.
And so you said, do you know where Mark Saldivar's backpack was at this time?
Jalen had it.
Okay. And regarding Mark Saldivar's belongings, who did you observe with Mark Saldivar's wallet?
Jalen.
Okay. Do you know if there was anything inside of the wallet?
He had got upset because there was only $10.
When you say he got upset, who are you referring to? He?
Jalen.
Can you please describe to the jury the demeanor of Tamor McIntyre and Jalen Bell at the Mexican restaurant once you all got off the vehicle?
They were kind of going back and forth, and then Jalen applauded him and gave him a high five, and they high-fived each other, and Jalen said he caught your first body.
Can you describe to the jury how you were feeling?
They also have a multitude of 4K footage that ties TK to the crime scene, ties him to the vehicle, ties him to this crime. So on top of physical evidence, they now have a first-hand eyewitness who was in the vehicle with them, who drove them to the Mexican restaurant, testifying that TK did this and she witnessed him do it. TK, it's over for you, bro. TK is done, bro. There's a 0% chance that TK makes his way out of this situation. It's over with, right? The story of TK is officially over with. It's done. As a matter of fact, bro, listen, I feel like TK is getting off light, right? Having to do life in prison is light work, man. He deserves the death penalty for this. This is levels of evil that I think very few people is able to accomplish. TK is a demon, a spawn of Satan. Y'all let me know in the comment section, what do you guys think of this, okay? Do you guys feel like TK deserves a second chance? Let me know, okay? And if you're still watching, click on this video here somewhere on my screen, to find out about the huge fight that Big Baby Loose Cannon and Big U had in prison and what led up to it. I'm going to see you guys in this video somewhere on my screen. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.